Welcome, my loves. I am Madame Luna, here to guide you through tonight's story. Before we begin, remember to subscribe so you never miss a tale whispered under the moonlight. Crescent moon, and tell me in the comments, if you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would your spirit take you? Airplane globe. Now settle in, close your eyes if you wish, and let the story unfold. 1 AITA for turning my porch light off at 9 p.m. When I bought my little blue house at the end of Maple Lane, the real estate listing called the front porch storybook. It has a railing with chipped white paint, a creaky swing, and until recently, a very bright lantern bulb that stays on a timer. I set it to go off at 9 p.m. I'm an early sleeper. I like the hush that settles over the neighborhood. I make tea, fold laundry, and let the house become a cave. A few weeks after moving in, my next-door neighbor, Mrs. Kennedy, started stopping me in the mornings to chat about the vibe of the cul-de-sac. "We like it cheerful here," she said, gesturing at a row of twinkle lights on her shrubs. "We all keep our porch lights on until at least 10. It deters raccoons and other things." I thanked her and explained my schedule. She frowned and told me that, on this street, keeping a porch light on was neighborly citizenship. I smiled and said I'd think about it. That night, I stared at the timer. The lantern glowed against my curtains. I pictured Mrs. Kennedy peeking through her blinds, clocking my choice. At 9, the light clicked off. The next morning, a note appeared on my door. "Please leave your light on for safety. Your concerned neighbors." It wasn't signed, but the K in concerned looked exactly like Mrs. Kennedy's looping grocery lists I'd seen when she borrowed sugar. I tried a compromise. I swapped the bulb for a dimmer, warmer one, and I set the timer to 9:30. The street still looked lit. My living room felt calmer. A few nights went by without incident. Then came a soft knock close to 10. I opened the door in my robe to find Mrs. Kennedy on my stoop, arms folded. She launched into a speech about shared expectations. She said delivery drivers needed light to find houses, and kids coming home late felt safer. I said I understood, but my bedroom window faces the porch, and the glare keeps me awake. She suggested blackout curtains. I told her I actually like the moonlight and the sound of crickets, not a floodlight. Her mouth pressed into a line. 2 days later, another note. "We will be circulating a petition." I felt my stomach slump. I called my brother, who laughed and said I was absolutely not obligated to run a lighthouse for the block. To be extra courteous, I bought a subtle solar path light and put it by my steps, and I printed my address numbers in reflective paint. Last Friday evening, while watering my ferns, I noticed Mrs. Kennedy hosting a small gathering on her porch. Someone pointed at my house. They all looked. At 9:30, as always, my lantern clicked off. A few minutes later, her guests left. She came over, not angry this time, but tired. She said she worries because she's older, and when she sees darkness, she imagines tripping or someone lurking. I said I'd walk her Amazon packages over when they arrive after dark. I said I'd keep the path light and the reflective numbers. I even offered to install a motion detector. She considered, then nodded slowly. Motion is fine, she said, and thank you for the packages. The next day, I swapped in a motion bulb. It glows soft when someone steps onto my porch, then fades. There hasn't been another note. Yesterday, when I brought a small box of vitamins to her, she thanked me twice. She told me the raccoons are back, but she said it like the weather, just a thing that happens. So, AITA for sticking to my earlier lights out time and suggesting compromises instead of leaving my porch light blazing until 10. 2. AITA for asking guests to label their leftovers at my Sunday dinners. Every other Sunday, I make a big pot of something: soup, chili, pasta bake, and friends wander over. It's casual, mismatched bowls, a candle that pops and hisses, music low enough for conversation. People bring wine or bread, and we catch up. After everyone leaves, there's always a mountain of leftovers. I portion them into containers and text the group. Folks swing by to grab theirs. Lately, though, my friend Jonah has been enthusiastic. He's the first to pack a take-home box, and somehow he ends up with the lion's share, even from dishes he didn't care for. He'll say, "Oh, nobody likes mushrooms. I'll save you from them." The next day, 3 people will message asking if any of that mushroom lasagna is left, and I'll have to say Jonah already took it. After this happened 5 or 6 times, I decided to try something. When people came in last Sunday, I set out a little stack of sticky notes and a pen next to the containers. I said, "Hey, grab a note and write your name on a container if there's a piece of the dish you know you want tomorrow. We'll pack them at the end." Everybody said, "Great idea," and made jokes about calling dibs on brownies. Jonah rolled his eyes. "We're really doing sign-ups for leftovers now." I said it would help me split things fairly. He muttered, "It's just food." Dinner was cozy. The stew was good. People wrote their names. At the end, as we were cleaning up, Jonah quietly scraped half the pot into a container, no note. I reminded him to grab a sticky. He said, "I have a job that starts at 6 a.m. I don't have time to play." I felt my face get warm. I said, "I wake up at 5 for the bakery, Jonah." He shrugged and said something like, "Then you'll be fine." I took a breath and said, "Okay, let's make this simple. 1 container per person tonight. The rest stays here for lunches." He stared at me, then left with his container. After he walked out, everyone else thanked me. They said they'd been feeling weird about taking anything because Jonah always took so much. People laughed, grabbed their labeled boxes, and hugged me goodbye. The next day, Jonah texted, "You made me look greedy." I typed back, "I set a rule so people could have some too. You deserve a portion, not the whole pot." He left me on read. A few hours later, he sent a photo of his breakfast. A massive bowl of stew labeled Jonah. He added, "Message received." This Sunday, he didn't come. He sent a note saying he had meal prep. Everyone else came. We ate, we packed, we chatted about a movie. The leftovers stretched across 3 lunches for me and made my week easier. I feel a bit guilty because I know Jonah struggles with money, but I also can't bankroll a secret catering service. So am I the ***hole for instituting sticky note leftovers and enforcing 1 container each when one friend kept taking more. 3. AITA for not inviting my sister's new boyfriend to my quiet birthday. For my 31st, I asked for a quiet day, a morning hike, a nap, and a small dinner at my apartment, just 4 people, soft music, the cat weaving through ankles. My sister, Leela, started dating someone 3 weeks ago. She's excited, as she should be. She asked if she could bring him to dinner to integrate. I said, I really want it tiny this year. Maybe next time, she said okay. But her okay had a wobble in it. The afternoon of my birthday, she texted that they were running late. When the door finally opened, there they both stood. He held flowers. Leela said, surprise, you'll love him. I blinked. Then I smiled in that tight way people do when they want to be gracious and also honest. I said, I'm glad to meet you. Can I talk to Leela for a second? In the hallway, I whispered. I asked for a small dinner. She whispered back, but it's small +1. I decided to let it go. I told myself it was fine. During dinner, he was polite and told long stories. Long. He narrated the history of his favorite hiking socks. He explained woodworking glue. He asked my friend more detailed questions about mortgage rates. It wasn't awful. It just wasn't quiet. When everyone left, I hugged them and said, thank you for coming. The next morning, I sent Leela a gentle text. I want to set a boundary here. If I say no to an extra guest, please respect it. She replied, you embarrassed me by pulling me into the hall. You made it a thing. I apologized for the hallway and said I wanted to avoid saying anything in front of him. She wrote, he felt unwelcome. Now my mom is weighing in, saying I should have just gone with the flow, and that birthdays are about family. My dad, who fell asleep in the chair during the sock monologue, told me he understood both sides. I keep replaying the door opening and the surprise. I think about how easy it is to make a quiet night loud. So AITA for not wanting my sister's brand new boyfriend at my tiny birthday, and for texting her about boundaries afterward. 4. AITA for asking my roommate to stop doing laundry after 9 p.m. I share an apartment with 2 roommates and a hallway washer-dryer that clangs like a pot orchestra. I'm a light sleeper. I get up early for work. Over the past month, my roommate Aiden has gotten into late-night laundry. He'll start a load at 10:45, and the dryer sings its bright little song at midnight. He says it's when the machines are free. At first, I tried earplugs. Then I tried white noise. Still, the dryer's thumps sneaked through. One morning, after a 1 a.m. cycle, I made coffee with shaky hands and asked Aiden if we could cap laundry at 9 p.m. He said, I don't tell you when to cook. I said, the stove doesn't vibrate the whole hallway. He said he'd try. He didn't. I made a sign for the laundry nook. Quiet hours 9 p.m., 7 a.m. Our third roommate signed it. Aiden crossed out the word quiet and wrote suggested. I took a photo, sent it to our group chat, and asked the landlord if house rules could include laundry hours. The landlord said, within reason. Aiden said I